Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Rundown. I will be your host today, Craig DeLuz, coming at you from the West Coast, the left coast, behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sears. But as we all know, I do not do this program by myself.
That's right. My name is Mike Pureworski, coming to you live from the East Coast. That's the coast with the most, from the co-host with the most here on the Rundown. 2A Views Conservative News. Craig, guess what day it is?
Uh-oh. Mike. What day is it, Mike?
It's hump day.
Hump day?
It's hump day.
Hump day?
Mike, I have to say, it is a pleasure to have you back.
Oh, you've said that to me before, Craig. It's a pleasure to be back. Pleasure to be back from my court-mandated sabbatical. It's very nice. The rehab is over, so we're all good. We're all good.
Very good, very good, very good. You didn't make any new friends, did you?
It's been a long time since I showered. Let's just say that.
I guess they don't shower over there.
They're these little tiny showers. They really are. I mean, you got to like turn sideways to get in, and the water is not steady, and it doesn't stay the same temperature. It gets hot, it gets cold, it gets hot, it gets cold. It's Europe. Yeah, what do you expect?
It's Europe. So. Exactly. It's Europe.
Yep.
Well, it is what it is, bro. Well, like I said before, it is good to have you back. You do radio and you've done your show before, even by yourself before. Talking by yourself for an hour or for 40 minutes is not impossible, but sometimes it can be a challenge.
It's a challenge. It's I find even on the radio show when I have to do it by myself, which is very infrequent, it's a different show.
Yeah.
Because I like to be the butt of my own joke sometimes, and it's hard to do that when you're by yourself. It's hard to bring the levity to the program when it's only you. There's nobody to play off of. So it's a more serious show when I'm by myself on the radio for sure.
You know what? It kind of reminds me. It's kind of like trying to hit off of like trying to toss the ball, like you're playing baseball. You toss the ball in the air and then hit it. It's a lot easier when someone's pitching to you.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. Craig, you are the ultimate pitcher. So
well, every once in a while I hit the batter.
Well, that's all right. As long as you're not the catcher.
As long as you're not the catcher. There you go. Well, man, thanks, dude. A lot has happened, and we'll be talking about a little bit of that today. And I so wanted to get your perspective on just the whole, just everything that went on. Both, in particular, the when we went in and we got that soldier out. I was like, man, I would have. If I could have had you on for that show just to talk about what the heck
right here.
That was freaking phenomenal.
Ask away.
So, first of all, just when you first heard about it, what were your initial thoughts?
It was nice to have a commander in chief and a whole chain of command that actually gave a crap about the well-being of the warfighter. That was it. That became the priority again. That. It was to take care of the individual. I mean, you heard them say things like, listen, those are 2 aircraft. We can replace those. We got our guy. We got our guy back. In fact, I've got a quote here. I've kept it up on my screen by one of the former General Frank McKenzie. He was the former commander of CENTCOM. And his quote there was, former CENTCOM commander noted that while the U.S. lost a couple of aircraft in the mission, it takes a year to build an aircraft. It takes 200 years to build a military tradition where you don't leave anybody behind.
And it doesn't take long to screw up that tradition, and they made sure they didn't.
That's right. Exactly.
Yeah. Yep. Well, I was just so impressed. And I'm sorry. I don't care how you feel about Donald Trump. I don't care how you feel about the war. If that did not just make you feel patriotic and think, okay, when is the movie coming out? There's something wrong with you.
Yeah, and listen, I don't have to get too much into particulars of it. You got a full bird colonel in there, which means he's at the end plus of his career. So he's probably mid-late 40s, I'm going to guess, in his age, still flying that aircraft into the front line, up a 7,000-foot mountain peak, hide in a crevice, working on a little walkie-talkie, waiting for them to come get him. I mean, this guy's just, a stud. If he doesn't walk away with the Congressional Medal of Honor out of this, that's going to be amazing.
Well, you know they're probably going to try and get Tom Cruise to play him, right? Because he's in his 50s, almost 60s. He could pass for 40 something.
Yeah, he could. I think Tom Cruise plays because of his Top Gun role. I don't think he's able to fit in this one, but somebody like that, somebody like that.
It's just also a trip though when you think about it. I mean, you had the CIA doing their spy stuff. You had technology that had never been used before. Over 100 bombs dropped in order to anytime they got anywhere near him. Him hiding in a crevice. I mean, dude, where was there not drama in this? I mean,
how about in 24 hours built an airfield behind enemy lines to support this mission? And what the French said, oh, Americans got to stop sniffing cocaine if they think they can do stuff like that. And we did it.
Well, if I'm ever looking for advice on how to win battles, I go to the website Great French War Victories.
That's right. Yeah, exactly right. And do the opposite.
They are just, I'm sorry, the French are the absolute last people that I'm going to consult on anything having to do with any sort of military victory.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Absolutely right.
Oh, good stuff. Anyway, sir, once again, good to have you back. And it'll be nice because finally someone else other than me can give a quick shout out to our sponsors.
There we go. Hitman Industries, hitmanindustries.net. Get on over there. Get you some AR rifle barrels. They got rifle caliber, pistol caliber, any length you desire for your next AR build or rebarrel your current AR platform. That's hitmanindustries.net. California Republican Assembly fighting a good fight behind enemy lines. Now you can take part in California's future today. If you want the best in concealed tactical holsters on the market, get on over to hogholsters.com. That's HAWG holsters.com. Use the discount code The Rundown. That's all one word, no spaces, all caps. Get yourself a nice little discount. And if you want the best in field gear, tactical gear, web gear, law enforcement, security, fire, personal security, whatever it may be, get yourself over to uscombatgear.com where you can get everything except the gun.
That's right, folks. These are our sponsors. They bring us to you so that we can bring you to them. Do us a favor, do them a favor, do yourselves a favor. Visit their website. It's real simple. We put the links to their websites in the description of this program. So go there, check them out, spend some money with them, and make sure you tell them it was the guys over at The Rundown that sent you. Also want to encourage you, if you're watching this show during the 3 o'clock hour on the West Coast or the 6 o'clock hour on the East Coast, you are watching us live, which means we're taking your comments, and we would love to hear what you have to say about all that is going on, whether it's specifically what we're talking about in the program, whether it's where you're watching from, or just the news of the day. Maybe it's a topic we didn't cover. Give us a shout out. We'd love to hear from you. We don't even care if you disagree with us. In fact, if you disagree with us, we would rather like it because it gives us the opportunity to mock you.
Oh, wow. Is that a mockingbird?
Man, is that a mockingbird? Is that a mockingbird?
Mock you, baby. Mock you. Look at this, Craig. Fine Italian cigars.
Fine Italian cigars right there.
You know what's always amazing me about Italian cigars is Italian cigars are American Old West style rope cigars. It's you're gonna go all the way to Italy to get Old West style cigars.
Good stuff. Good stuff. I've been smoking a lot of cigars lately. At least probably about not as many as you. You smoke more cigars than I do. What is that? Is that another Italian one?
No, these are in Italy. They also sell Cuban cigars.
Ah, very nice, very nice.
Yep. Yeah, got to bring these back in the prison wallet, though.
Oh, God. Mike, you are entirely too much. All right, let's get into today's program, and we're going to start off talking about the war. Now, you know that by this morning, there was supposed to be, or at least it was anticipated, that there would be the end of a civilization, and that Donald Trump would be subject to war crimes. Well, that didn't happen. And as a result of that not happening, you now have people in the mainstream media claiming, oh, well, Donald Trump chickened out and he never follows through. And I forget what the term they use is taco, right? And you've literally got people in the media musing, and this is nothing new, but when it comes to Donald Trump in this particular war, they're literally musing that we've lost the war or that we are losing the war. And I share for you as an example this piece from Al Jazeera. Did America lose yet another war? The war in Iran has repeated the failures of past U.S. conflicts defined by hubris and ignorance. Let me just read a little bit of it for you. After threatening on Tuesday that a whole civilization will die tonight, U.S. President Donald Trump had to backtrack and announce a 2-week delay in making good his threat. During this stand down, the U.S. And Iran, along with Israel in the wings, will attempt to negotiate peace. Ironically, while the U.S. maintains an overwhelming military advantage, Iran holds the strategic cards by controlling the Strait of Hormuz and hence retaining great influence in the price of gasoline and diesel fuel and the state of the global markets. On current trajectory, Iran war will repeat past failures of the U.S. to win or achieve successful outcomes in the war it has fought. Now, Mike, as our resident military expert, what would be your opinion of this individual's analysis of our current state in this war?
Craig, I believe that the Artemis moon mission was a complete success because they brought back these people from the dark side of the moon. Where else could they possibly be from? You know, this is not any part of the news cycle that's going on except in the mainstream media, right? This is by design, and Donald Trump was very clear on this before he said, you know, we were going to bomb them back to the Stone Age or whatever his methodology was that this we're going to do this, drive them to the ceasefire table, to the negotiation table. And what they did, they capitulated. They said, okay, we'd rather not lose every piece of infrastructure in this country. Let's sit down to these demands and see what's going on. It's perfect. And Craig, they're by no means going to agree. They're not going to agree. Mark my word, in 10 days, 14 days from now, you're going to see bridge and power plant day. You're going to see, you know, water and waterways and dam day. You're going to see all of it. He's going to destroy this country because he's giving them the chance on the world. We do not want to stop our terrorist activities. So you don't want to? We gave you a chance, let you come to the table, and you said no. Well, bye-bye.
It's really simple. All we're asking is stop your nuclear ambitions, stop building rockets, and open up the Strait of Hormuz.
Yeah, and we got that.
Things, yeah. Those 3
Yeah.
things. That's it. Although I will say this, I don't know why they decided that all night they were going to keep firing rockets at Israel.
Look, they have no idea what they're doing. These are people that, again, a Muslim country, they're attacking, you know, Qatar, the Emirates, Saudi Arabia. I just, how do I show everybody that we're a great Muslim country? I know we'll shoot at other Muslim countries as well.
Right. Well, and then you've got the media who at one point is like, oh my God, he's going to commit a genocide. He's going to commit war acts or acts of war crimes. And then when he doesn't, they're like, oh, well, he chickened out.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. The whole war crimes thing, you know, that he made the announcement ahead of time. So it's a war crimes thing. Craig, do you know we did in Japan in the last couple of months of the war? We dropped over 77 million leaflets on Japan that said, give up or we're going to bomb you back to the Stone Age. And then after we dropped the first atomic bomb, we dropped another 10 million leaflets that said, 7 million leaflets that said, we are going to use another bomb of extraordinary power to destroy your country unless you bring your emperor to the table. Sounds like exactly what happened there. Did the same thing in the Korean War, did the same thing in the Vietnam War. When we tried to drive the Vietnamese back to the negotiating table, we brought back Operation Rolling Thunder 2 and bombed unrestricted targets in the north to bring them back to the table. It's what you do in warfare.
Well, in the other parallel here, and this is one of the things that concerns me when you think about the Vietnam War, militarily, we won the Vietnam War. We lost it because of the media and because of the left. We only lost it. We only pulled out. Because we couldn't go as far as we needed to go to win because, well, the American public couldn't stomach it because the media was lying.
When we pulled out of Vietnam in 1973, we had won every major military battle there was, and we were in charge of that country. Handed it off to the South Vietnamese army, and they lost their country in 2 years.
Well, even the historically known Tet Offensive, which is supposed to be a huge victory for the Viet Cong, even that was a miserable failure overall. Yeah. I mean, just how the media reported on that war, on wars since. Once again, part of the problem is that the American public, I think in many cases, does not have the stomach for what it takes in order to win some of these victories. And we need to understand that in wars, things get broken and people die.
Absolutely. It's just, they've learned since Vietnam, at least the or the mainstream media has learned that they think it's okay to be against every war as long as now they say we support the soldiers. We support the soldiers, because the media has a horrible image from the Vietnam War because they supported the spitting of soldiers when they were returning home, calling them baby killers, that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. So they stopped doing that, and they still do we support the soldier, but the war, the government, our government's bad. It's just, they're ridiculous, and nobody that has any common sense takes them seriously. Unfortunately, we all know that just about half the country suffers from mental illness.
But it's got to be mental illness, because when you destroy 100% of the enemy's navy, when you destroy 100% of their air force, when you destroy 90 to 95% of their ability to launch drones or missiles, when you kill thousands of their military soldiers, military leaders, when you kill the top 3 tiers of their leadership, and you lose as a total 13 servicemen in total, how are you losing that war?
Yeah. And just to clarify, Craig, concerning the Navy, we actually came up with an agreement with them, a sharing agreement, where we get the top of the water and they get the bottom of the water. That's where they're.
I did hear Secretary of War Pete Hegseth reported on that from the Department of War podium. And we're living up to that agreement.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
Yes, we are. They're not, though, because they keep trying to take the top of the water right there around the Strait of Hormuz.
And they got nothing left. They got drones and diggies. That's what they got left.
Yeah. By the way, just so y'all know, a lot of what's happening right now, I believe, is going to be repositioning, so that we're either going to take Karg Island, we're going to destroy Karg Island, we're going to do whatever it's going to take to open up the Strait of Hormuz.
But by the way, you might as well just start referring to it now as Trump Island.
Trump Island. Okay. Trump Island. All right. Yeah. Or the Strait of Trump.
The Strait of Trump. Yeah.
Good stuff. Oh my. Okay. So you were just talking about, and Mike, you were just talking about how Democrats are basically full of mental illness, right? And they seem to think, and I don't know what they think the American people think, but there's a guy that in Maine who is running for I think governor up there. Is he got? Oh no, he's a Senate candidate. I'm sorry, he's running for Senate in Maine. And dude decided, he was going to decide that he was going to see what he said. He says Maine Democrat Graham Planter called Jesus a zombie and the Virgin Mary a skank. He did this on Reddit. Let me read a little bit. This is a piece over at the Washington Free Beacon. It says Graham Planter, a Democratic Senate candidate from Maine, known for his now covered Nazi tattoo, described himself as, quote, as so, quote, crudely atheist that he derided Jesus Christ as a zombie and the Virgin Mary as a skank in a newly uncovered Reddit post. In the post, Planter responded to a 2008 lawsuit that claimed a soldier was denied a promotion for not embracing, quote, fundamentalist Christianity. Planter asked, quote, what units is this shit in? And stated that while, quote, I've spent 8 years in the infantry, I've been about as crudely atheist as one can be the entire time, Planter cited. Quote, zombie Jesus jokes and Mary sucking at a covering up at covering up being a skank, okay, as examples of what he found humorous during his years in the military. Now, I don't know many people from Maine. I don't know that I know anybody and people who live in Maine. But I have to think that, and not so much that he ever thought that stuff like that was funny, but the fact that he is still like, yeah, I still think that's funny now. And I still think that's appropriate to share and think and talk about now as a gubernatorial candidate tells me how, and by the way, and the fact that he is the Democrats' nominee tells you how screwed up the Democratic Party is.
Yeah, this guy's. We had a term for him in the military, a no talent ass clown. That's clearly what this guy is. The fundamentally, to find fundamental Christianity, it is never once I could tell you, 11 years in the infantry and 30 years in the military overall, that never heard that before. What we did hear was morality, right, and ethics, and that's what they put forth. And if he's confusing things like morality with Christianity, he's just about as big as idiot as he seems.
Well, exactly. No, I think you're hitting the nail on the head because, and a lot of morality is in line with Judeo-Christian principles and teachings. I mean, they just are. And not just because they are Judeo-Christian, but because guess what? They work, right? How about you don't steal from your neighbor? How about you don't mess with your neighbor's wife, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Some very, very simple things that are there in the 10 Commandments that if you follow them will keep you out of a lot of trouble.
Yeah, I mean, again, we've talked about it before. The job was shoot, move, and communicate, right? But that was not with women and children. That was with the enemy combatants, right? We were not the SS. We didn't walk through town, murdering everybody. You went after the military targets and kept going.
Hey, want to give you a shout out. Christopher Julianus over on Facebook said, "Great to see both of you here. It is great. I feel really good just to be here." Christopher. I'm sorry, Christopher Julianus is the name.
There you go. How you doing, Christopher? How you doing?
How you doing?
How you doing?
Anyway, but yeah, I just think, I'm not one for just out and outright just blasting other people's religions, right, and making fun of them. Now, I've always having said that, I've always said this. You can make, for me, this is just to me, because I'm not easily offended. You can make fun of my politics. You can make fun of my religion. You can make all of that. You just have there's just one requirement.
Your hair.
Gotta be funny. Yeah. You can make fun of my hair. Yeah. It's gotta be funny.
Yeah.
That's the one requirement. Because if it ain't funny, it's just mean.
That's right.
It can be mean and funny. I've laughed at mean and funny.
Yeah.
But it's got to be funny. Otherwise, it's not a joke.
That's right. It's very true.
Yeah, I always laugh at look at these parody sites, and I'm like, yeah, that's not a parody site. Just because you report something as news that is not funny, and that people then pass along as being true, I'm like, that's not a parody. That's not funny.
Good point. Very good point.
Anyway, all I know is if this guy wins in Maine, then that says a lot about the voters of Maine.
Yeah, well, and again, like you said, the MSM, they're the ones propping this guy up.
Mhm.
Otherwise you'd have no chance at all. Everybody, and
Mhm.
every diner and lobster shop up there would say what a whack job he is.
Yes, they would. What a racist whack job he is.
That's right.
You know, it's kind of funny that Donald Trump, who has literally done nothing or said nothing that would lead you to believe that he is a Nazi. You don't believe he's a Nazi, but the guy with the Nazi tattoo is not a Nazi.
Yeah, the irony, huh?
The irony of it all. Tell you one thing that Donald Trump did do. Donald Trump did give guns to the Iranian people. It's being reported here. Bearing Arms has an interesting piece on it. It says, this is being written by Cam Edwards. It said, did Trump really send guns to Iranian people, and where'd they end up? Let's read. President Donald Trump has confirmed the U.S. has tried to arm the Iranian opposition, but claims that the guns were meant for the Iranian citizens never got to them. So what exactly did we send, and where did they end up? Details of the operation, which I sincerely hope was called Operation Farsi and Furious, remain scant. But Trump on Monday generally confirmed what Fox News' Trey Yanks reported over the weekend, and an untold number of weapons were sent to the Kurds with the expectation that they would be given to the Iranians, willing and ready to take to the streets in armed opposition to the IRGC and the mullahs remaining in the Iranian government. And this is I think this is from the Fox News piece. It says they were supposed to go to the people so that they could fight back against these thugs. You know what happened? The people that they sent them to kept them because they said, "What beautiful gun. I think I'll keep it." So I'm very upset. Also, this is Trump. So I'm very upset with certain groups of people, and they're gonna pay a big price for that. But the Iranian people will fight back as soon as they know they're not going to be shot, and as soon as they get weapons. If they had weapons, not many of them. If they had weapons, that would go the other way. And you know what would happen? Iran would give up in 2 seconds because they won't be able to take it. Now, the one thing that's interesting about this is there's a reason why we sent them to the Kurds, because the Kurds are no friends of the IRGC. So it's not like they wound up in enemy hands. They
Right.
just didn't reach the final destination. They did wind up in the hands of individuals who will likely, well, hopefully, we're hoping will be part of the resistance against the IRGC.
Yeah, nothing new about this technique, Greg. During World War II, Allied forces dropped thousands of tons of weapons, including Sten guns, Brens, and pistols, into occupied France to arm the resistance fighters, the Maquis, including the FP-45 Liberator pistol that was made here in the United States. It's a standard war tactic to arm those that are being oppressed underneath the governments that are fighting the war.
Right. Well, and that's what you always said. I mean, how do you keep tens of thousands of people from being killed as soon as they take to the streets? Well, you give them guns.
People with ARs don't get in cattle cars.
That is a saying that I have heard more than once.
Yep.
Anyway, but so it is a tactic that they're tried. Unfortunately, they were unsuccessful in actually getting the firearms to where they needed to go. But I have a sneaking suspicion it will not be the last time.
Yeah, and let's be clear, these didn't get dropped into the Iranian, IRGC there. These got to the halfway point and haven't made it all the way yet,
Yes. Well, exactly. And they're not in enemy hands. The main thing I want to point out is
Correct.
they're not in enemy hands. Now, that's
Correct.
not to say that the Kurds won't be our enemies one day. I mean, let's just be honest. We are, this is more, our relationship with the Kurds is more of an enemy of our enemy is our friend type of a deal.
Yeah, a Mujahideen situation from Afghanistan. Yeah.
Exactly. So, I mean, let's not pretend like, like they are our friends, but in no time soon will these weapons be used against us.
Correct.
Oh, I got to tell you, and I know that Gavin Newsom is considered one of the front runners for the presidency in 2028 for the Democratic to win the Democratic nomination. And in the, gosh, I want to say now 12 years? No, not even 12. In all of the time that I've been dealing with Gavin Newsom, I never really heard a whole lot from his wife. I can tell you that she's a whacked out lefty. She is a woke feminist. She makes movies and then sells them to government and makes them show them in schools. And it's all promoting the coming down against the patriarchy and yada yada yada. But the more she is out there, the more she's being heard, and the more some of her quotes are coming out. And I got to tell you, this woman is a weirdo. And here's just one of the things, the statements that she had made that has people just wondering. That basically people are already saying, if Gavin Newsom is the nominee for president of the United States, this woman is going to end his campaign.
I mean, I had to be very raw when we interviewed the young men who were juvenile offenders in San Quentin. I told them about my own loss, where I lost my older sister a few days before my 7th birthday, and I blame myself for her death. And I share that because that they ultimately were accused of committing these violent crimes and sentenced for life. And I think it shocked them that this, blonde lady who was, interviewing them had a similar story, was perhaps in the wrong place at the wrong time, but wasn't punished the way they were, because clearly it was an accident, but theirs was probably an accident too. So anyway, I share that just because I guess, I quite enjoy spending time with people and being real and unmasking and showing them that it's safe to unmask themselves.
Beautiful.
Now, keep in mind, this is the same woman who says that she gives her boys dolls so that, they can learn how to be caregivers. She's the one who says that, all the world's problems would be better if women were in the rooms making the decisions along with their male allies. This woman is the epitome of left-wing wokedest woman, white woman specifically, and is just. Tell me, Mike. I just listening to her, you can sense the wokeness and the white privilege just oozing out of her mouth.
Yeah, it's listen, you couldn't script a more horribly written white victim than she is. It's crazy.
She's gonna. I'm serious. If he is not careful, I mean, I one of the reasons why I really honestly and truly believe that he may not run for governor, so may decide not to run for governor,
for president
is because I don't think he wants to see her get lambasted in the media for the crap that she is saying.
I don't know. I think his ego is bigger than her feelings to him.
Well, all I know, dude, is she will be destroyed. I mean, when the mainstream media hears some of the things she says, it's kind of like there's that one meme where you see the white lady go up to the Venezuelan woman and be like, no, you don't know how oppressed you are.
Yeah.
Let me tell you how oppressed you are and the ways in which you are oppressed.
I could see him spinning it where the evil Republicans and conservatives are going after his wife. That's not, respectful. I could see him spinning it that way.
All you got to do is play your words.
That's it.
All you got to do is play your words. And there's so much out there. And not only that, she's not going to shut up. She's not being less vocal. She's being more vocal. When it's uncovered that she's made millions of dollars making movies that nobody wants to watch, But
Yeah.
she forces it, and now they're in schools across the country promoting the end of the patriarchy.
Yeah. No, she's horrible. Anytime she opens her mouth, stupid stuff comes out. That's for sure.
Stupid, dumb ass stuff comes.
Yep.
All right, folks. Well, that now brings us to our parting shots. Parting shots are brought to you by Hog Holsters. Just go to hogholsters.com. Use the discount code The Rundown, all caps, no spaces, one word, and get your Hog Holster today. We've got some fun stuff here to share with you. So there's this first one. Now, we've talked about the Straits of Hormuz, but has anyone really talked to you about the gays of Hormuz?
Isn't it a little bit homophobic that we're so focused on the Straits of Hormuz and not?
Oh wait, hold on. I didn't put the whole. Did I not open up the thing for the whole video? My apologies. Let me redo that. Okay, now we'll do it again. Here we go.
Isn't it a little bit homophobic that we're so focused on the Straits of Hormuz and not the gays of Hormuz?
Yes, I agree. Yes, for sure.
Why do you think they're willing to leave the gays of Hormuz behind?
I think it's just historically, like, gays have always been very discriminated against, which is wrong on so many levels.
Even in war.
Yeah, even in war. It just takes more reform in government, obviously, and then also educating society.
Just feel like if we're gonna go in there, we can't leave the gay people behind.
Right,
I don't think we should go in there at all, but if we're going to, the gays of Hormuz, we could turn it into Fire Island.
For sure.
I think the worst part about that is that she believes it. She
believe it. She does believe
she believes
it.
that she believes that we're being unjust against the gays of Hormuz.
Okay, now this next one I got to share with you. Now this one, Mike shared this one with me, and a lot of people don't know what happened in the negotiations between Donald Trump and the leadership there in Iran. And all I will say is Trump, in traditional Trump fashion, laid the smackdown in these closed door discussions and negotiations. And I have to tell you, the language gets a little raw.
Yep.
I mean, if the open the effing, if that bothers your sensitivities, you may not want to listen, because Donald Trump really, really, really goes off in this phone call.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we got some exclusive audio. There was a Trump phone call with the level 7 of the Iranian mullah theocracy, because level 1 through 6 has been wiped out. That led to this ceasefire. We'll see if it lasts or not, but the concessions on that with the Strait opening up, and this is pretty profound stuff. So Andrew's working really hard to clean this up. Justin, play that if you would.
This is Flaming Dragon!
Okay, Flaming Dragon. Face. First, take a big step back and literally f your own face! Now, I don't know what kind of pan-Pacific bullshit power play you're trying to pull here, but Asia Jack is my territory. So whatever you're thinking, you better think again. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to head down there, and I will rain down on a godly firestorm upon you. You're gonna have to call the United Nations and get a binding resolution to keep me from destroying you. I am talking scorched earth, motherfucker. I will massacre you. I will f you up.
Wow. How did you guys get that? Andrew, he's got better sources than me. I worked in administration. I don't even know people. I don't know how that leaked out. Sorry, guys. This is never meant to be like the comedy show. However, that was rolling.
You know what's so funny? When I first heard it, Mike, when I first heard that, because I've seen Tropic Thunder and I knew what it was from, I heard every curse word.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I was,
yeah. Yeah.
Maybe I was saying every curse word. Who knows?
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah. And, needless to say, here we are now. As I said, world destruction has not happened. It has not occurred. Or the civilization has not been destroyed. World War III has not begun. And let's just say that Dems, well, this is their reaction. Yeah, for those of you just listening, I know you probably really did not fully appreciate that one, but that was hilarious. What was he? What
Bryan
was his
Cran-
character's name in that one?
Bryan Cranston from
Yes.
Breaking Bad.
Breaking
Yeah.
Bad. Right.
Yeah.
He was what was his alter ego, his drug dealing name?
Eisenberg.
Eisenberg. Yes. Yeah, he was losing his crap right there.
Yep,
And
yep.
now this final one right here. Once again, going back to Gavin Newsom and going back to liberals, and the sheer illogic of many of the things that they believe. I think this guy really kind of nails it.
That a virgin could give birth. That same crowd now believes that men can get pregnant.
Yeah. So he said, basically starts off by saying liberals, the very same people who said that I was crazy because I believe that a virgin could give birth now believe that men can get pregnant.
Yeah, that's some Newsom stuff right there.
That is some Newsom stuff right there, right there. All right, folks. So that brings us to the end of our program. But before we go, we're going to give one more quick shout out to our sponsors.
Yep, Hitman Industries, hitmanindustries.net. They got all kinds of barrels you can want there. They got AR barrels, rifle caliber, pistol caliber, any kind of rifle, any kind of shotgun, any kind of pistol. They got every barrel you desire. That's hitmanindustries.net. California Public Assembly, fighting that good fight behind enemy lines. Now you can take part in California's future today. And if you want the best in field gear, tactical gear, web gear, law enforcement, security, personal, whatever it may be, get your group together, get your agency together, place an order at uscombatgear.com, where you can get everything except the gun.
That's right, folks. Once again, you can visit our sponsors by simply following the links in the description to this program. Go there, check them out, spend some money with them, and make sure you tell them those the guys over at the Rundown that sent you. And that brings us to the end of today's program. We very much appreciate you tuning in. We appreciate you liking and sharing the program and encouraging your friends to do the same. We will be back tomorrow. Tomorrow will be Throat Punch Thursday. Till then, y'all have fun, stay safe, and we'll see y'all mañana.